Hello everybody, I hope you're doing well in these somewhat challenging times and fascinating times. Some strange and really quite cool things are happening right now with collaboration and people kind of getting together and wanting to serve each other. And along with the video I did last week, I wanted to offer a really great tool available to all of us to help bolster the immune system. This is an innate technology that we all have. And it's almost going to take the woo-woo out of spirituality because this stuff is scientifically documented. And I'm going to be talking about the intelligence of the heart and connecting it with the brain in order to create a coherent state which bolsters the whole immune system. Some of my clients have had pretty good results doing this alone. They've been living an anti-inflammatory diet and life, and this thing has made quite a big difference. So what this is called is HeartBrain Coherence. In case you're not aware, the heart actually has a little brain. It was discovered in 1991, in Montreal in fact, that the heart has its own independent nervous system and about 40,000 sensory neurites. They're like brain-like cells in the heart that operate independently of the brain. We actually have a brain in our head, heart and gut, but I'm going to be focusing on the head and the heart now. And what they have found is when there is coherence between the head and the heart, there is lots of magic that happens in the body. So whilst this brain in the heart has its own intelligence, what they also know is that there's a lot of communication that goes between the heart and the head, and most communication goes that way, not that way, that way. Which begs the question, where does the heart get its intelligence from? Fascinating question, not going to answer that right now, but this is what is so incredible. So when there is an incoherent state between the heart and the head, from the emotions of, let's say, frustration, anxiety, fear, if we watch a lot of news, this can create fear in the body, or anything else, it changes our biology. It literally changes our immune system, it changes our endocrine system, hormonal system, the way we digest food. And when we have a coherent pattern between the heart and the head, all the positive things happen. We create a healing environment in the body. We can bolster the immune system for up to 6 hours. We secrete all the right kind of anti-aging hormones and chemicals. It's amazing. By the way, they've known this in indigenous cultures since the beginning of time, and we're just catching it up with it now, thanks to people like Joe Dispenza, who wrote Becoming Supernatural, and Greg Braden, who brought this to my awareness. In fact, Tony Robbins brought this to my awareness about 5 years ago. So this stuff is amazing, and what it really means, by the way, if you can see that, on the top graph is a very jagged line. Poor network connection. On the top is a very jagged line, and it shows that there is no coherence between the head and the heart, or lack of coherence. And it's a very jagged line. And this kind of inhibits brain function, and it kind of down-regulates the hormone secretion in the body, puts us into kind of fight or flight almost, like moderate fight or flight. But when there is a coherent state, we have this line underneath, like a nice flowing line, and that's when we create magic in the body. So how do you do it? Well, it's a form of meditation. And if you're new to meditation, don't let this weird you out. Again, this is scientifically documented. And lots of magic happens anyway when you meditate. Lots of magic happens in the body when we just change how we breathe. But this is called heart-focused breathing, and tapping it into or combining it with an elevated emotion. Every emotion we experience has a different frequency. And it's our job, if you will, to live in the highest vibration we can, so we can secrete the right pharmacy of chemicals, because we do secrete our own pharmacy of chemicals all the time in the body, depending on our emotional state. And what they have found at the Heart Math Institute, that's been studying the heart-brain connection since 1991, there are 4 main emotions which work most effectively. My connection keeps going. There are 4 main emotions which work most effectively. They are the emotions of care, compassion, appreciation, and gratitude. Any love emotion, basically. So if you can imagine a normal meditation where you slow down your breathing, you might have 5 counts in, 5 counts out, 5 counts in, 5 counts out. that alone takes you out of fight or flight. When you combine that with heart-focused breathing, you might want to put your hand there, or I typically do this, but you put yourself into a deep state of one of these emotions. You might want to think of someone or something you are appreciative for in your life, and you get into that deep state of appreciation or gratitude, or again, care or compassion. I like to think of a memory often, or someone or something, and it quite literally does some clever stuff in your body. And it only needs to be for a matter of minutes. I tend to suggest 3 to 5 minutes twice a day, because the effects tend to last for up to 6 hours. So if you imagine doing this every 6 hours, you're bolstering the immune system. Another wonderful thing about this is the more that we do it, we can access our innate intelligence, or our heart's intelligence on demand. Most of us are familiar with what intuition is, but this is a tool that enables us to tune into our heart's intelligence to get better answers. So not only are you altering your biochemistry through thought alone, you're also accessing your innate intelligence. It's phenomenal. You know, there's so many phrases that are based around the heart. Follow your heart. What does your heart say? There's more to it than just it being a saying, or, you know, there's more to it. So another really cool thing about this, I wasn't going to say this because it's quite a lot of information, but we have the power through focused attention where to focus our mind. And if we can choose to focus on a fearful emotion, or we can choose to focus on an elevated emotion. And if we are subjecting ourselves to news and media all the time, which is right now full of fear, admittedly we need to keep up to date to a degree, but there's a lot of fear out there, and a lot of it is unnecessary. And we have the ability to shift our focus from all of this in a way that's going to favorably change our biology, because the emotions of fear, the emotions of stress, down-regulate the immune system. If we're in fight or flight, what actually happens in the gut, which is where the immune system is located, by the way, 70 to 80% of the immune system is located in and around the gut. And this is where most chronic inflammation starts. If you have chronic inflammation, your immune system is suppressed. So if we have a nice balanced gut, we have a stronger immune system. And what happens if we're in fight or flight, or fight, flight or freeze, whatever you want to regard it as or call it? The blood drains from the gut and into our extremities. It goes into our hands and our legs. Cortisol starts pumping, adrenaline starts pumping. It's a perfect thing that the body does in response to a stressor, a danger, trying to escape that saber-toothed tiger. It's a really important thing. The thing is, when we're doing this all the time, it down-regulates, it suppresses the immune system. So we want to shift from that, through conscious thought, into an elevated emotion as much as we can. So this is what we have the power to do. We have the power to do this because we have the ability to shift our focus. None of us are taught this growing up. I only learned this because I threw myself all this emotional intelligence stuff when I got to LA, and a few years before that actually. But I wasn't taught this at school, I wasn't taught this at university, twice. I didn't learn any of this until my early 30s. And it's very, very powerful that we can shift our emotion by becoming the conscious observer of our thoughts. And through heart-focused breathing, we can actually acknowledge an emotion at a particular time, say what do we choose not to feel, and how do we choose to feel. And through this heart-focused breathing, you can actually shift the emotional state into a new emotion, which completely shifts the biology in the body. It's amazing. Let's say you're fearing, you know, there's an element of fear going on right now. You're feeling this fearful emotion. You go, right, I don't want to feel that. And then you shift over to, I don't know, I want to feel appreciation or love or care. We can do that consciously because we can become the conscious observer of our thoughts and our emotions, and then we shift into a new way of thinking. That's a lot of information I've just given you. But the main takeaways are, when you do heart-focused breathing and you elevate the emotion through heart-focused breathing, you can ramp up your biology, you can ramp up your immune system. And if you do this twice a day, every 6 hours, you're bolstering the immune system. And it's just like magic. Imagine combining that, by the way, with an anti-inflammatory diet, anti-inflammatory lifestyle. By the way, there's a big difference between conventionally healthy and anti-inflammatory healthy. Imagine combining an anti-inflammatory diet with this, moving, yoga. There's lots of things we can do for the immune system, which are really, really powerful. So I hope you found that useful. I'm also giving away my book for free, The Vitality Secret, the e-copy, around these times. I think it's a good idea to give this away so people have access to this information. So if you go to vitalitysecret.com/book, you can download that for free. And also, I am thinking about doing a new online program creating a community of people who want to have more access to this kind of information and apply it into their lives. So let me know if this is of interest to you. It's going to be a paid program. Let me know. I'm not going to create it if it doesn't have interest from people out here. So let me know. I hope that's been useful for you. Thank you for watching. Do I have any questions? Well, there's loads of people.